The beginning of the Lego Marvel Superheroes theme showed a lot of promise and gave a very wide variety of characters, ranging from those from the comics all the way to the movies, with the first wave of sets being for the Avengers. You're able to get all the different characters from that movie, and it really made you look forward to sets that might come out in the future. Since that initial wave, these sets definitely have skewed more towards the Marvel movies, with some comic characters being sprinkled in here and there. But for the most part, that only happens if you have some sort of proximity to Spider-Man. So to make up for the comics roster, I've moved on to buying custom Lego figures. And today I have 3 different figures from Muddy River's Customs, one of which being Emma Frost, Daredevil, and Professor X. All of these figures are based off their appearances in the Lego Marvel Superheroes video game, which had a roster filled with a bunch of different comics characters that never actually made it into Lego figures, and it is really great to get some sort of representation by them with these custom figures. Each one of the figures comes in a clamshell package with a special print that has the character, the amount of pieces in each one, as well as a numbering scheme for the number in the Muddy Rivers series, with Emma Frost being number 4, Daredevil being number 21, and Professor X being number 5. And at the top right corner, it has a label for being silver tier or gold tier. I'm not entirely sure what those would mean, but I'm sure it has something to do with the quantity that was made. Just to give a quick idea of what's in the packaging, I'm going to open up the Daredevil figure. Inside of the clamshell, like I said, it does have that print, which is very nice, just has printing on the one side. And the figure is sealed in a plastic bag with all the different parts separated. Getting the figures sealed like this is very professional. I've never seen this from any of the other customizers that are even bigger. And Muddy River's Customs is just a one-person operation. So this just shows that they are going out of their way to make sure your pieces come unscratched and protected. Now that we've looked at the packaging, here is the figure all put together. And this Daredevil figure is really great. Lots of very fine line work and detailing. And I really think one of the standout parts of this figure is the head print. Knowing Lego's track record for printing flesh on different colors, this is perfect, and the color is very true to what it should be. Kind of getting it out of the glare, you can kind of see the horns at the top. This is a little bit different than what Lego did for their own design, using the Black Panther sort of earpieces. I think this is a very fun look, and of course it matches that version from the Lego game. Definitely think having a very comic accurate Daredevil is also cool. The one that was made by Lego has some more modern flair to it. The original figure that came with the Daily Bugle ended up having a very detailed torso, but no printing on the arms or legs. I swapped out some parts on my official version to make it a bit more detailed. And I definitely think for a character like Daredevil, you have to go one way or the other, having it be simple and comic-based or detailed. I will say one downside for this figure is that it doesn't come with any accessories, but it is easy enough to get a couple of red bar pieces. I just took these off of my Daily Bugle version, and there you go. This just adds to this perfect Daredevil figure. If you want to check out the creator, I'll have all the links in the description. If you want to keep an eye out for any figures coming out in the future, this is a great first figure from them. Let's go on to the next one. Moving on to the next figure, we have Emma Frost, which again is another perfect copy of the version from the Marvel Superheroes game. This one also has a cape, nice printing on the front for their core set. I will say for this figure, I am a little bit worried about the cape stretching over time, so I'll have to be a little bit more careful with this. And there's just some more printing on the back with her back. I just had to do a little bit of extra work. The head got stuck in the hairpiece. Definitely is Lego's fault. I just think this hair ends up sticking a little bit too much. But this figure also has 2 different expressions on the head, one of which being very happy and the other one being maybe worried, or if you have the arm up, you could use this as her sort of powers being used. It is kind of refreshing to see a couple of different expressions instead of the normal neutral sort of looking face and the angry battle one. These are very unique, and it probably just is because the Marvel Superheroes game ended up being a little bit more childish, so they gave the characters different expressions that were Probably a bit over the top versus what Lego might do themselves, but this is just another great figure to have. And unlike Daredevil, Lego has not made this one yet. So it's nice to add to the X-Men collection and the Marvel Superheroes collection overall. Pretty sure this figure ended up having 25 made, and they still have some available. So if you want to get this figure for yourself, check out the links in the description. The Professor X figure ends up being a little bit more involved because it has parts to make his hover chair from the 90s cartoon. And I think based off of the packaging, silver tier must mean that this is another 25 quantity figure. And they might even have some available still, so definitely check out their Instagram and the links in the description to get one. Before I throw them on that chair, here is the Professor X figure all put together in that really great green suit. Definitely think this will help him stand out against other people in the MCU selection or otherwise where they are just in random suits. I will say this head print is really great. The eyebrows are perfect. I think that's one of the very distinct features for Professor X. On the back, just a quick little jacket crease. Looks like there's even a little bit of white underneath the vest, so that's cool. Bit of checkering on the tie. Lots of great little details. And, I've been making all sorts of X-Men videos the past couple of months. And this figure is going to be perfect for my Danger Room mock that I'm going to be bringing to Brick World Chicago. And here he is all put together. I definitely think the design of this chair is very well done. It is in tan, which might not be the perfect color, but I'm sure it just has to do with the color availability of the parts that they wanted to use. I personally might look into doing a yellow chair, seeing what might be possible using these parts that they used. Otherwise, making up my own design would also be cool. And just as another quick option, here he is in the Lego wheelchair element. If you want to use this character as more of a movie version versus a comic version. I do think the hover chair is very iconic, but I might lean towards this just to save on some space. As a final note for the packaging, it does have that 1x2 plate. I think you can use this in one of two different ways. It looks like with the sticky tack, you can attach it to the card in the little rectangle. Otherwise, another option, and maybe one that might not damage the printing, you can just use the little paper square to stand up the figure inside of the packaging. So up to the buyer. And as a quick overview, these figures are really great and have a lot of great detailing, like I pointed out. They also fit in perfectly with other Marvel characters, whether they are official or other customs by other companies. And really, these figures are just a breath of fresh air compared to every other custom company spitting out every X, Y, and Z character from this Marvel show and that Marvel movie. It's great to go back to the basics and release characters from the comics that haven't been seen in physical Lego form. It sounds like for the most part they're planning on raising the quantities for each figure, and a lot of them will range from 30 to 50, with 75 being the most. Definitely check them out on social media and follow them on Instagram to see their reveals. If you're interested in these figures, definitely message them. They sell through their DMs. I think that's the best way to get them and probably the cheapest. And they gave me a little bit of a teaser. They're working on a custom molded part that will be related to some sort of character in the X-Men, and it'll be a hairpiece. So I would say it might be likely that it'll be a very accurate Storm, which is great because the one that Lego put out could definitely use some improving, just looking at the very generic hairpiece on it. So I will definitely say, check out Muddy River's Customs. They have some great figures and great designs, and I'm sure they have some other amazing options coming out in the future. If you want to see more custom Lego videos, check out all the other ones on my channel. I've been Brick Up, and I'll see you in the next video.